Sorry guys, I know I'm live right now, but I'm just trying to figure out how to get Rumble back. Okay, I don't know how to get Rumble back. Fuck. Sorry guys, it cut out. Oh, no, I'm back live on Rumble too. Okay, sweet. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I guess my whole live streaming software just shut down. I don't think I got censored. I think it was just like a very rare glitch in the system. But we're back. It was Asian Meg that did. Yeah, so we were watching a video of an anti-Semitic fiasco, and all those people got fired. All they wrote was Zionism equals fascism in the washroom of their coffee shop, their woke coffee shop. And then some old Jewish woman was like, I need to go to the washroom. And they're like, no, you can't. We know that you're going to expose us for being pro-Palestinian and anti-Zionist. No, you can't get in here. And then eventually she pushed her and strong-armed her way in there. And all the soy boys and Asians and fucking left-wing coffee shop connoisseurs, they all got cucked. They all got fired. See you later. You reap what you sow, fucking losers. But I know they're probably right. Hey, if you're gonna commit an anti-Semitic hate crime, you might as well make it worth it, right? You might as well have drawn some swastikas on the mirror or something, because you're gonna get fired regardless. But instead, all you wrote was Zionism equals fascism. Ooh, so brave, so intense, you know. You're really sticking to the man. You still got fired for it, you fucking pussies. There's a lot of menorah stuff going on in Canada and the rest of the world, including America and especially Poland. What's up with this Hanukkah? Is this even a real holiday? I don't think Hanukkah even exists. I think Hanukkah is a huge psyop. I think that Jews just got jealous of Christmas. They saw all these European holidays like Halloween, Christmas, all these things that we were doing that we were having so much fun with our families, giving instead of taking. And they got really jealous and they created their own holidays where they get 12 days where they get gifts for themselves. It's like, come on, bro. At least our Christmas day is like the birth of Jesus, and you know, we all give each other presents. But it's just like, oh, on the 12 days of Hanukkah, my cousin gave to me 5,000 in bar mitzvah money. Da, 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 da. You know, they're jealous. So are we back in progress here? Are we back in action? Are people watching this? I don't know if we've got the show. Is my main stream back up? No, my main stream is done. I'm on a new stream here. So we're working on Rumble, and we're working on YouTube, and we're working on Entropy. Okay, we're back. It's good to know. I've never had this issue before, but we're back. Alright, as I was saying before, Hanukkah has become front and center this year. Before, no one cared about Hanukkah, right? Because it's not even a real holiday. It doesn't make any sense. You get presents for like 12 days before Christmas. I don't know.
Dreidel to show you. Let me go get it. I'll bring it right out. I'll show you my dreidel.
So this is in Toronto. They have a menorah lighting, a public menorah lighting. You guys want? I don't know. This is from Karima. She filmed this. I have no idea what's going on. A public menorah lighting. he's like, yo, y'all want to see my dreidel? No, we don't. Put it away. Put your dreidel away. We know you like to spin your little dreidel around. Please do not put it out in public. We do not want to see that. That's gross. Come on, put it away. No public displays of your religion, right? You don't like it when Christians put the crosses out there in public. We don't want to see you spinning your little dreidel around in public. That's fucking gross, man.
I gotta go get. I have a dreidel to show you. Let me go get it. I'll bring it right out. I'll show you my dreidel.
No, please don't. Yeah, no one asked to see the dreidel. Come on, man. This unsolicited dreidel exposure. People are like, what the fuck is going on?
Happy Hanukkah.
Okay.
I think Rabbi B is going to be back in just a moment.
Rabbi B.
If you would like...
Do they not have the budget to afford Rabbi A? Why do they gotta get Rabbi B? Oh, soon enough, they're gonna be cheaping out so hard that they're gonna have to go for Rabbi C or D. Yikes.
To hold one of these candles for one of the hostages, you can go over right over here to this tent, and they will pass you one of these candles.
Oh, so we gotta hold the candles for the hostages. So now the menorah candles represent the hostages. You know, these holidays that they make up just keep on taking on more and more meanings. So now the menorah for the Hanukkah represents the hostages that were taken after October 7th. My lord. Yes, yes, Goyim, take a candle. Whoa! Whoa, buddy!
This might be the biggest dreidel costume you ever saw, or maybe the only dreidel costume you ever saw. That's right, let's get the boys and girls.
Let's go.
Like a dreidel.
If anybody wants to send me that dreidel costume for Christmas, that's what I want, okay? If any of you want to give me a present for Christmas, I want this dreidel costume, please. Please.
Can you guys twirl like a dreidel?
Hey, Goyim, why don't you twirl like a dreidel for me? Let's go. Oh, this is amazing.
Let's twirl around.
They're lucky that people in Canada are this nice, and they're just gonna be like, oh, nice, this looks pleasant. A guy dressed up in a weird spinny thing, square. I don't know what's going on. Because, you know, don't they know that all throughout the world there's all these anti-Semitic fiascos going on? Old women not being allowed into washrooms to record graffiti. It's another Shoah, if you ask me. Oh, they... Well, anyways, here's another thing that happened. This is a bit worse. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna warn you. So it says, stranger pummels Jewish man, calls him dirty Jew on the first night of Hanukkah in New York City. And special attention to the word stranger. Is that the new dog whistle that's going on? A stranger? Stranger? You guys got to be on the lookout for these strangers. You know, I like a good anti-Semitic fiasco, but I'll tell you, I don't like it when it devolves into people getting called dirty Jews and being punched out, right? And I'm especially against the violence committed by strangers. Strangers, right? In fact, if you're in a situation where it's dark at night and you see a stranger approaching, there's only one thing that you need to do.
Get the fuck away. Wherever you have to go, just get away. Because there's no fixing this.
And I agree. Just get the fuck away. When the stranger approaches, just get the fuck away. So it says that the NYPD confirmed its hate crime task force is investigating this incident as an anti-Jewish attack. And this fellow right here is the perpetrator. This stranger right here. This stranger. What a strange man. What is strange about his appearance? It's actually not so strange when you start looking at the patterns and you start seeing that things are a lot more common than they are strange, okay? Well, so we can at least say that it's probably fair that when you punch out a Jewish person in public while they're wearing Jewish garb and call them a dirty Jew, that at least in this modern day, having a hate crime task force investigating it as well, that may be warranted. But apparently the same thing doesn't apply when it comes to white people. In fact, a few years ago in Canada, you have a headline like this. It says, Indigenous woman yells, "I hate white people," while punching a white guy that she doesn't even know. But it's not a hate crime, says the judge. Wow. Seems like this goes one way and not the other. And it's kind of the crux of what we've been talking about for so long here. And time again, this kind of thing happens. It's not always straight up violence. A lot of it is just complete ideological subversion, where you have Jewish scholars or people within the media saying that they, as a white person, think that they have white privilege, and we should all acknowledge our white privilege as well. But then as soon as we call them out, they say, "Oh no, Ivey, you're being anti-Semitic, I'm Jewish." Okay, well, what's going on here? This is unacceptable, as Elon Musk would say. As my boy Elon would say. But it seems like Hanukkah's not off the hook yet. It seems like ever since this October 7th kickoff of the Palestine versus Israel war, there's been increased scrutiny on this, as some people would say, fake holiday called Hanukkah. Hanukkah. Well, there was a man who was a MP, a member of parliament in Poland, who just created a new anti-Semitic dog whistle, and that is the fire extinguisher. And that is because in Poland, he does not want to see a menorah being lit in their parliament office. So this guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Grzegorz Braun, from the monarchist wing of the Confederation Party, and he's a member of parliament. He took out the Hanukkah with a fire extinguisher. So let's watch this video. And we'll do a little back check on him and a little bit of commentary. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Panie pośle, co pan robi? Panie pośle, co pan robi? Panie pośle, co pan robi?
Jak tak można było się zachować? Wstydnie, że kobieta atakować! Wchodzimy się, proszę państwa.
Panu nie wstyd, co pan robi?
Naprawdę wstyd pana!
Wchodzimy się. Dlaczego pan to zrobił? Państwo, nie wchodzimy tam. Państwa, zejdźcie na dół. Zejdźcie na dół. Proszę zejść na dół, proszę państwa, zejście na dół, to się musi przewietrzyć. Wstyd powinno być tym, proszę państwa, uczestniczą w aktach satanistycznego kultu. Proszę państwa, proszę zejść na dół. To mój telefon, panie pośle, spokojnie.
And what a fucking Chad, right? Because this is in Poland, but if this were in America, and especially Canada, he would be charged for terrorism at this point. And he would be immediately ousted from his position in government. But this is him in an ad to become a campaign ad for him to become mayor of a city in Poland. So this is his ideology.
Szczęść Boże. Nazywam się Brown, Grzegorz Brown. Moja
George Brown. Okay, so it's just George Brown. It's a nice American name, George Brown. I was trying too hard. I was like, Grzegorz Brown. No, it's just George Brown. He's just one of us. He's just a George Brown.
Grzegorz Brown. Moja prezydentura to dla państwa gwarancja prawdziwie dobrej zmiany. Obronię Gdańsk przed dyktatem eurokomuny i inwazją imigrantów. Nie będą Niemcy i Żydzi uczyć nas historii, nie będą zboczeńcy wychowywać naszych dzieci.
Degenerates won't raise our
Rozmontuję
children.
i rozliczę układy. Będą
So he
Żydzi
says-
imigrantów. Nie będą komuny, dyktatem eurokomuny
He will fight back against Euro-communist
i
dictates,
inwazją imigrantów.
immigrant
Nie
invasions,
będą Niemcy
and Germans and Jews will not teach us history.
i Żydzi uczyć nas historii, nie będą zboczeńcy
Degenerates won't raise our
wychowywać
children,
naszych dzieci. Rozmontuję i
and he will dismantle and settle the whatever.
rozliczę układ gdański. Miasto po pierwsze dla mieszkańców, nie tylko dla obcych spekulantów i deweloperów. Szczęść Boże.
Pretty frickin' based. You will not find anybody like that in the Canadian government, not even the American government. In fact, the only people in government, the only representatives in government who voted against like unanimous support for Israel was Thomas Massie and I think Rashida Tlaib of the Democrats, who is, you know, heavily demonized. But the only Republican was Thomas Massie. And he's kind of like an outsider. He doesn't really matter that much, though, you know, he has his position and he seems pretty cool. He's a representative for Kentucky. And he made this meme, and it caused Chuck Schumer to tell him to take it down and called him an anti-Semite. So this is the closest we have to somebody like that, and it's not even fucking close. And that's in America. And going forward, I want to show you a debunking of Hanukkah. Because as I was saying before, I do think that Hanukkah is a cope holiday. It's not even a real holiday. It has no religious backing within Judaism. And it's something that they created in order to cope with the fact that Christmas is so celebrated in the society that they wanted to take control over, right? So, Dr. Ricardo Duchesne, former professor of University of New Brunswick, who's written books like Canada in Decay, and then he got ousted from his position by far-left radicals, including many of his colleagues at his university. They expelled him from that university, essentially, because he stood up for white people. That's the crux of it. All the students loved him. He has like an almost perfect score on Rate My Professors, Rate My Teachers. Everybody loved him, but he got ousted from his position because he committed wrongthing. He's probably the last dissident professor, that like real dissident professor within Canada. So he says here that a few decades. So this is about in France. They're lighting the menorah in their whatever their White House is. It's called the Elysee Palace or whatever. In Poland, that's what they were doing over there when he got the fire extinguisher and he blew that shit out, right? So they're doing this here in France, when in France they can't even like put up a cross there because it goes against putting religious iconography within what's supposed to be the secular government, right? But of course they could put Jewish relics in there because the Jewish supremacy pervades the West, right? It owns the West. So he comments on this saying, A few decades ago, the word Hanukkah barely existed, for it refers to a relatively insignificant Jewish event that is not even included in the Hebrew Bible, but it has now been bloated into an event contesting for same attention as Christmas. Jews have always felt uncomfortable with the beauty of Christmas and how it is that Europeans came up with all the best holidays: Halloween, Thanksgiving, Valentine's, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Labor Day, and because the white male ruling class is cucked, they're accepting the ethnocide of their unique days, mixing them up with insignificant and boring non-European days. So there you have it. And a little bit of proof of that in the comments. This goes to show you throughout books, all the last books of the last century, Hanukkah was nothing before 1900. And then there was a little bit of mention of Hanukkah. And then it's not till the 1950s where it becomes somewhat relevant. And then towards the 1980s, it becomes much more relevant. And then by 2000, it's a household name. So I don't know what's going on there. Seems like a cope holiday to me. Seems pretty cope. Alright, I'm going to play you guys another quick song while I go for a break, and I'll be right back. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about Norman Lear. And Norman Lear is a mainstream media mogul who has died at 101 years old. He is the creator of the modern sitcom with shows like All in the Family, Sanford and Son, The Jeffersons, all these different shows he helped create. And a lot of people think that this is like a throwback to back when on TV you could do all these politically incorrect things and now it's gotten too woke. No, it was always woke. And we'll show you how. So we're going to get into that. Then maybe one or two more things after that, and then we'll wrap it up. I think the show's probably going to go about 3 hours long tonight, so it's going to be a good one. And we'll be right back. I'll play you a punk song right now, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.
I knew it wouldn't last. It all happened so fast.
back. Good to be back. Okay. Yep, we're still live on YouTube, Rumble, and Entropy as far as I know. Shoutouts to Nigel. I can't see it in my Entropy chats right now, but he did give a super chat saying he had to go to bed, but he's going to check it out in the morning, and he appreciates the work. Well, I appreciate you too, Nigel. You getting those rounds in, going up and down them stairs with everything on your back, and being an inspiration to all of us to get more fit. You've definitely been an inspiration for me to get more fit, and I've been back at the gym in a more consistent way, and I'm hoping within a few months from now, you're going to be seeing a monstrous transformation into me being a physical beast. So, thank you, Nigel, for that inspiration, buddy. And thank you for the super chat, too, as well. But yeah, I want to get into this topic about Norman Lear. So, I don't know. Many of you probably don't know who this guy is, Norman Lear. I'll just pull up his Wikipedia. Norman Lear. I listened to Black Pilled, Devin Stack Black Pilled on Odyssey, his stream about Norman Lear, and he did a fantastic job highlighting like the subversion of this mainstream media mogul who normalized sitcoms and normalized like progressive values into Western societies, and especially American society. And Norman Lear was very subversive about doing it. Because there's a situation here where it's just like art is about showing the realities of the human condition. So somebody like Norman Lear will use the fact that, the human condition has all these different situations that can happen. You could be a serial killer. You could be a homosexual. You could be a nuclear family. You could be a happy, straight, white family with all these children. You could be all these different things. You could be a happy, straight, white family with all these children, but that's only on the surface. And deep down under that, you're all unhappy, and the wife is being abused by the white male father who is overbearing, and the children are suffering, and the father is racist. So the children are suffering because of that, There's so many different situations that could be happening. But Norman Lear, somebody like him, will pretend like he's only showing what's going on in society when he's producing these shows. He's only being the one to break the ground, to break the ice on these controversial topics. But when it comes down to it, you could see that he's actually trying to push society in a general direction. He's not just showing these situations. He's showing these situations while giving the population that he's targeting the conclusion that he wants them to have. And that's the difference between, putting a controversial situation like a gay person being involved with a child's life, right? That's a controversial situation because you do know that gay people are more likely to target male children. Yes. And that is something that has been known throughout society for centuries before, and especially in the 1900s as well. But they would do something like overcome that and to say that that is all just absolute hysteria, and that there's nothing valid about that kind of an opinion. So what somebody like Norman Lear does is they try to normalize there's only one side of this conversation, and that we need to go towards left-wing liberal progress, which means the acceptance of transgenderism, the acceptance of multiculturalism, and everything beyond that, the acceptance of it, and any opposition towards that is just born out of ignorance. That is what these sitcoms and all this comedy, so-called, all these sitcoms on TV was trying to portray to the American public. Now, at the same time, though, you'd have characters like Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker was like the hilarious, based, old-school dad, and he would have all these hilarious opinions. He would make jokes about how black people eat watermelon, how, they're ruining the neighborhood, and you'd have the laugh track. But he was ultimately the butt of the joke. And yes, sometimes he was being overtly racist, and it's funny to laugh at him for being, like, stupidly racist and yelling about watermelons. Yeah, that is his folly. That is him being stupid. But at the same time, they're controlling the narrative and saying that essentially there's nothing wrong with multiculturalism. There's nothing wrong with gay marriage and everything that comes from that, or transgenderism. There's nothing wrong with white genocide. That's the extension of what they were promoting there. There's nothing wrong with it. You're just a stupid, ignorant bigot, and you're the crux of the joke if you oppose it. That's what they were trying to promote. And you can see here, it says Norman Lear has said that the moment which inspired his lifetime of advocacy was an event he experienced at the age of 9 when he first heard the anti-Semitic Catholic radio priest Father Charles Coughlin while playing with his radio set. After hearing his sermons, Lear said that Coughlin would promote anti-Semitism by targeting people whom Jews considered to be great heroes, such as U.S. President Franklin Roosevelt. So imagine that. This guy thought that a Catholic pastor, and this guy is like a hero, explaining the moral paradigm of his day, saying that this president is doing wrong. And because other Jews considered Franklin Roosevelt to be a great hero, that constitutes this Catholic preacher being anti-Semitic in the eyes of this 9-year-old child. This is so fucking retarded. This guy has some serious pathology instilled in his brain as a Jew. Serious pathology. But he's going to project that, and he's going to put that upon a character like Archie Bunker. So let's see what Archie Bunker was like.
Why, the answers are all right here in this sculpture. Take, for instance, what this represents. This here is...
So this is his daughter bringing home some kind of art project. And there's Rob Reiner right there. So Rob Reiner is another Jew who we'll get to later, who has helped he's helped extend the legacy of Norman Lear and what he's trying to accomplish by subverting the Christian white society with comedy and the mainstream media.
Why, the answers are all right here in this sculpture. Take, for instance, what this represents. This here is the struggle of the races, man's inhumanity to man. Yet through it all, the shining hope of a new brotherhood, see?
And Archie Bunker knows his bullshit, right? It's funny. It's funny, so he's right. We know that Archie Bunker is right.
Girl has gone basic. I'm all alone here. I'm all alone in this house. Isn't anybody else interested in upholding standards? Our world is coming crumbling down. The coons are coming.
The coons are coming.
12% of the population is black. There should be a lot of black families living out here.
Yeah, this is only a beginning, but I think it's wonderful.
Wonderful, huh? Well, let's see how wonderful it is when a watermelon rinds come flying out the window.
Oh, yeah, the watermelons are going to come flying out from the wind, yeah. So, the blacks come moving in, they bring a bad art project, No, this is not something that blacks would create. This is something a Jew would create, first of all. And then the watermelon coming through the wind. They're not going to bring watermelon. They're going to bring something else. It's like they're going to bring violence into your community and devaluation of your of your property. That's what they're going to bring if they come in massive numbers. So they're not telling you that side of the story. They're just making him look like a fool while he's saying funny racist jokes. And this is how it captured the minds of boomers, and it slowly but surely allowed them to accept their own white genocide. Right? No, it's like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Right? You know, they always showed the black guy coming to dinner, and then the family's like, oh my god, no, daughter, we're progressive, but we don't want you to be dating a guy like this, right? And then it turns out this black guy is just the smartest, most affluent, he's got it all figured out, and the parents are the ones who are being a bigot. But what about the statistics that show that you're vastly more likely and disproportionately more likely to be a victim of domestic abuse if you're a white girl in an interracial relationship with a black guy than a white guy? So one day you're bringing home a black guy. The next week you're bringing home a black eye. Now, they're not going to show you that side of the story. They're just going to show Archie Bunker being a bumbling buffoon saying the word coon. Maybe he'll say the word nigger next episode, and there'll be a laugh track about it. And then everyone will make fun of him and make him the butt of the joke. So let's dig deeper into this. Let's go back to the Wikipedia page. So this Norman Lear guy, seems like a lot of these guys, they're living up to be like 101 years old. Henry Kissinger, he lived to be 100 years old. How are they living that long? What is their secret? Please tell me it's not sucking babies' bloods, because I don't want to believe so. I want to believe that there's another way to live that long and be like somewhat healthy other than adrenochrome and drinking the blood of children. Come on. But anyways, this guy Norman Lear is involved in philanthropy. And in 1981, he founded the People for the American Way. It's a progressive advocacy organization formed in reaction to the politics of the Christian right. So this guy saw all these Christians advocating for themselves on TV and trying to, convert people to Christianity and do all this stuff. So he created a whole NGO or a whole advocacy organization in order to combat that. But at the same time, you can see here that he was one of the wealthy Jewish Los Angeles people known as the Malibu Mafia. So throughout the 70s and 80s, he was known to be part of a Jewish Malibu Mafia. But now he has a problem with Christians, and he has to create an advocacy organization to fight against them, to fight against all the Pat Robertsons, the Jerry Falwells, all the Christian evangelists who are using the media in order to promote Christianity. He has to fight against that. And this guy, Norman Lear, actually, the way that he contextualized this is that he is a big proponent of the Constitution. And he says that the Constitution separates the church and state. So this guy, Norman Lear, he bought one of the original copies of the Constitution for like $10 million. There's only 30 copies of the original Constitution, and he bought it for $30 million so he could tour around the country with it to say that he is the guy, one of the guys who has the Constitution, and he cares that much about it. And that's the reason why he wants to keep religion out of the Constitution, because it's supposed to be an American Constitution for everyone. But at the same time, he has his own Jewish mafia that likes to target Christians. It's absolutely baffling when you see the levels of subversion that this guy goes through in order to captivate the minds of Americans. It's crazy. And then going forward in the future, you have him doing all these different shows, like Maude is a spinoff of All in the Family, and that's where a 47-year-old woman gets pregnant and decides to have an abortion. And this is like months before Roe v. Wade, where it became illegal for women to have abortions all throughout the states in the 70s. This is like months before that happened, so it was very controversial. But it's like, what the fuck are you even talking about? A 47-year-old woman having an abortion? They're creating all these impossible scenarios to try and get people like accustomed to the idea of abortion, the idea of killing children, essentially. And they would do it through all his different shows, like Sanford and Son, Good Times, all these different shows. They would introduce social situations and pretend like, hey, this is just what's going on, and we're like the pioneers of TV. We show situations that in the past they would not show because, you know, they're being all stuffy, like Leave It to Beaver. They only show like, oh, I did something slightly wrong. Should I tell my pop that I lied, or should I not? Like, what should I do? Should I go talk to my priest? And they, you know, they make TV look like it was like that before that, until these pioneers came along and they introduced transgenderism and promoted multiculturalism to the point where it's anti-white. That's their purpose. That's his purpose that he has in subverting television to get to where it is now, right? And I understand that, you know, if you want to do art, you have to reflect what is going on in society, right? And that is a cope, but also explanation for what these rappers are doing. Like, these rappers will be like, yo, we're just telling you what's going on within our lives, yo. Yo, it's kill or be killed in these streets, yo. So then they'll make all these rap albums where they're talking about killing their enemies, fucking bitches, doing drugs, selling drugs, being criminals. And it is pretty interesting, to be honest. However, like, is this actually good for our society? Should we be promoting this? So it becomes like kind of a thing where it's just like, yeah, you're reflecting the reality of the situation, but where are you going from there? Are you pushing society in a positive direction, or are you trying to push society in a degenerate direction where you're promoting abortion, in the case of Maude and All in the Family, and multiculturalism, by lying about the other side of the argument to say that there's no reason why we shouldn't oppose mass immigration, You know, there's all these things, and it's always like a control of the mainstream media. And Norman Lear, apparently he's converted to Catholicism now, but he has been in control of this and was one of the pioneers in bringing us towards this new paradigm of, like, the Archie Bunker is the flawed white male who needs to be corrected, right? And people will say, hey, back in the day, we used to have characters like Archie Bunker back before things were so politically correct. But no, he was the fool. And we do have characters like that. That's Homer Simpson. That's Peter Griffin from Family Guy. You can get all the racist jokes you want from Peter Griffin of Family Guy, And it's all right there, and he's made to look like the retard, the fool. That's how it goes. And Peter Griffin, Family Guy, it's made by Jewish people once again, Seth MacFarlane, and the rest of the producers at Fox there. So you're not getting away from it. There is no... It's always been controlled. There was no time before when it was not controlled by the cult, as they call them. What are people saying about that? I've been talking for a while. Maud was the dude? Adrenochrome? Meathead, yeah. What's his name? Rob Reiner was known as Meathead. That's what Archie Bunker called his son-in-law. So Rob Reiner played like the son-in-law of Archie Bunker, and Archie Bunker would always refer to him as Meathead. And Rob Reiner's character, he would always bring forth like progressive ideologies, and Archie Bunker would like scoff at them and say hilarious racist things about them. And a lot of people would identify with Archie Bunker, but what they didn't know is that they were ultimately the butt of the joke, and that society was going in the direction to ultimately marginalize their group of people in support of all the newcomers into America. That's what these people who thought Archie Bunker was based at the time, that's what they didn't know. Now, speaking of Rob Reiner, this is what he's doing now. You know how I told you about how Norman Lear says that he loves the Constitution, but he's also spent his whole life trying to get Christian influence out of the media and out of the government? This is the movie that Rob Reiner, and Rob Reiner considers like Norman Lear one of his like parents, basically. And Rob Reiner was like the son in All in the Family. He was the meathead. He was the son-in-law. So Rob Reiner, who's now like 70 or 80 years old, he's helped make this film about supposed Christian nationalism. So let's see what he has to say. This fucking movie, man. This will piss all the Christians off in our chat. This is going to be in theaters in February.
America and Christianity are like baseball and apple pie, and we celebrate them together.
I was 16, 17 years old when I became a Christian.
I'm an evangelical minister.
I've been a Christian my whole life.
I'm a Christian nationalist. I have nothing to be ashamed of because that's what most Americans are.
Is Christian nationalism Christian?
No, it isn't.
So Christians exerting their power in any way to try to, help their own religion? No. No.
We should be blazing forth as a countercultural example, and instead, we're leading the charge of malice and division.
Christian nationalism uses Christianity as a means to an end, that end being some form of authoritarianism.
Being a Christian is about the values of inclusion. Christian nationalism is certainly not based on the values of the gospel.
God wants America to be saved.
They're told over and over and over again that you're in danger.
You need to fight if you don't want to lose your country.
We are in a civil war between good and evil.
This is not a movement about Christian values. This is about Christian power.
What happens to the people who don't believe this stuff?
What happens to all the children who are getting murdered in the womb because Christian values won't allow abortion to be halted?
We are on the precipice.
God is on our side. We're taking our nation back.
The thing that keeps me up at night is that we lose democracy.
Does that seem possible?
Yes.
Imagine having to answer to fucking Jabba the Slut here fucking Wanda Sykes or whatever. Who's this? Goldberg? Whoopi Goldberg from The View? Your Christianity has to pass through her first. Oh no. Oh no. Like, what is this even?
Christianity at its best is committed to...
Christianity is just do nothing, let everyone walk all over you. Don't even have a religion. Let yourself get snuffed out until Christianity just means whatever everybody else wants it to mean. That is the message of this movie. This is fucking pathetic. This is a Jewish subversion by the likes of Rob Reiner, the progeny of somebody like... the ideological progeny of someone like Norman Lear.
Love and truth and justice. If we do this right, what a country we will be.
Yeah, right. What a country we already are. And it's already going in your direction. Don't even lie about it. It's not going in the Christian nationalist direction. That's just you scapegoating people who are actually trying to make a fucking difference. Alright. This is making me angry. Let's see some vindication for these left-wing views failing people immensely. So I don't know if you guys know about Hunter Avalon. Now, this character, Hunter Avalon, was one of the content creators that I knew about back in like 2016 when I first started making videos. And this was a guy around, he's probably even younger than me, making videos, and he was even touching topics like he was like a creationist, he was an anti-feminist, he was anti-BLM, he was anti, Islamicism in many ways. He would make videos with his little brother where they would dress up in, turbans and be like, Allahu Akbar, and do funny skits like that. He even at one point sold a shirt that said, it's okay to be white. All back in 2016, 2017. So I thought this guy was pretty cool. He was kind of you look like kind of the jock, pretty boy kind of look about him, but he was still try to go into the direction of being more based. But then all of a sudden it took a turn for the worse. And now, over here in 2023, you'll see that his life is not going so well. So he recently got attacked by his new girlfriend's ex-boyfriend who was mentally ill. So this is a video of this formerly right-wing streamer, now turned into a left-wing streamer, of him getting attacked by his new girlfriend's mentally ill ex-boyfriend. And he joined into this relationship, which was an open relationship, and then he stole this guy's girlfriend from her. And he went absolutely crazy. And it just goes to show that once you turn into a left-winger, and you start accepting all this degeneracy into your life, you will invite hell into your world. And we'll dig deeper into where this guy went wrong, because this is really fucked up. So we'll start with this. So he says, warning, graphic. I'm still trying to process this, and I'm most likely in shock as I write this. But only a few hours ago, Holly's ex-boyfriend, Conrad, showed up at my apartment building with a shotgun. He shot through my building door, injuring Holly's leg in the process. I recorded the final moments in which we're hiding on the back porch. You could hear him shoot at police before ultimately taking his own life in my own fucking apartment hallway. Still trying to process this. Holly and I are physically okay, but mentally, this is gonna do some serious damage. Holly has been amazing, and she's been incredibly brave and strong throughout this ordeal. Alright, so this is his video.
Are you recording?
So this is them on their balcony.
Shot Holly in the leg.
He even had time to make subtitles to it.
Are you recording? Conrad has shot Holly in the leg. Excuse me?
And now she's standing in front of the door.
We don't know. All I know is I got a call from my landlord that said he was trying to get into the building. The suspect, sorry. The suspect was trying to get into the building, and then there was something shady about it. We didn't know.
Yeah, he had a gun under his coat.
And he had a gun under his coat when he came out, and then when we walked up he's at the door. He's at the door.
Please come in, please come in.
Please hurry, please.
And they're on the phone with the cops.
He's pounding really hard at the door. I hear shouting. I think I hear them.
Show me your fucking hands! Oh, and he just got lit the fuck up. Yep. So there you have it. Now, he's getting a lot of criticism. One, for filming it while this was all happening after his girlfriend got shot in the leg. Also, because his girlfriend supposedly got in the way of the door, and that's why she got shot in the leg, because the guy shot through the fucking door with a shotgun. But then they had a cope explanation for why he wasn't the guy who was intervening and getting in between them, is because he was the one who Conrad, the ex-boyfriend, wanted to kill. So he's like, it made more sense for her to go up. It was her idea to go up. And then ultimately she got shot in the fucking leg. Now, he didn't want to hurt her, but he ended up shooting her. It's just a fucking mess right there. And he looks like a total fucking pussy. And he's been against the Second Amendment ever since he turned left-wing. So now he's cowering in his balcony waiting for this guy to come in. Lucky the guy went crazy and got shot up by the cops before he could get in and fucking murder him on the balcony. But until then, his girlfriend got the brunt of it and got shot in the leg, even though he was going for him. This is so fucking crazy. But it gets so much worse than that. He specifically took this girl from a relationship she had with this weird guy, this Conrad guy, for 10 years. But she was in an open relationship. You know how these leftists, in their degeneracy, they have these open relationships? Well, he inserted himself in this, and he ultimately took the girl from him, and she started saying he was abusive. And then, of course, yeah, he kind of is abusive because this fucking emo weird freak came in and slaughtered, or tried to slaughter her. Now, let's see a picture of this guy, just for some context. That's her, and this is the guy. And you know, this is her leg getting shot the fuck up. Getting sprayed with all those BBs. I don't know what kind of shot that would be. Probably like bird shot. Probably shot bird shot through the door. I'm no ballistic experts. And of course, they were going to Star Wars, fucking Soy Boy. This is like Revenge of the Soy Boy right here. This is the kind of things that they were doing together as a couple before. And now his soy rage has led him to go turn completely SSRI, crazy eyes mode, and go and try and slaughter his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend. But I think this guy Hunter, he kind of brought it on himself. Because this is what his last relationship was like after he became a leftist. This is how his last relationship ended. And this is crazy. You have Keith Woods, of all people, sharing a video saying, "What's going on? Is every big leftist streamer an actual cuckold?" And it says, Hunter Avalon's ex-wife trying to set up gangbangs with all black men. It's Carissa time. And yes, this is the woman that he had a child with. And he was doing OnlyFans with because he's so fucking cool, man. And ever since he got rid of all this Christian right-wing views, his life has been so much more progressing into the future. And this is where his future progressed into. Getting mogged by this black pimp who's trying to convince his girlfriend and mother of his children to get involved with a gangbang with black guys where she's getting fucking pissed on. Let's listen.
She hit me up like, hey, because she always act desperate for money. And it's weird because she supposedly got a good job. She's like, how can I make $5,000 real quick? And I'm like, dog, I can't call it, because that's not how this goes. Like, the way I instruct people is you got to treat this shit like a real job. You got to grind. It's a million other girls competing with you, and you got to outcompete them. There ain't no fast way to the top. You just got to grind like crazy. And she never wanted to do that. She just wanted to kind of get to the end point, get to the money. So she hits me back like, I got this dude who's saying he'll give me like $7,000 if you could set up a gangbang. How difficult would that be for you to set that up for me? And she's like, hey, if you could set up a gangbang, and it's got to be all black dudes. He wants me to do it outdoors, and just a bunch of black dudes. And I told him, I'm cool with y'all peeing on me. Y'all just can't pee in my mouth and my eyes.
Oh,
y'all gonna see the receipts. But she's
not
like,
in
how
the
could
mouth or the
could you set
eyes.
that up for me? I'll give you a
The
cut.
rest of it is okay. All right. Congratulations, guys. I hope we're all glad with the choices that we've made. Yes. Oh no. Oh, no. No. And here's just an example of this guy's streams. This is him getting absolutely mogged by probably the least competent person of the America First Groyper movement. This is him getting absolutely owned in a debate by Beardson, Beardley,
Views
of
are
all people.
garbage. You're a liar. You're fake. Your views are garbage. You're a liar. You're fake. You're weak.
Okay.
And you're ugly.
Okay. Do you think you know more than all of the medical consensus on this subject?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
That's all I
absolutely
needed to know.
do.
You're such a virtue signaling little shill right now. Listen to yourself. Oh, I don't want anybody to harm themselves. I care about all peoples. But trans people can't have the medical surgery that's been shown to help.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know.
fucking hate
Listen,
you. I
hey,
literally wish you were dead. I hate you.
I know you do, and I don't really care because when the facts hurt your feelings, you melt down.
I wish
into
he
a
was
crying
dead
little-
too. Yeah, and
Time
then
to call up
just best part of this
How about
debate.
you-
I listened to this like just as a flashback after seeing his apartment get shot up by a psycho based on his bad decisions. I just looked back at this debate so I could have a good laugh. So let's hear this.
The bogus.
They're arguing about a Black Lives Matter study because there's the New York Times said Black Lives Matter is largely peaceful because 90% of their protests were peaceful. And then Beardson is saying, yeah, but they padded the numbers. Like, that's bad, first of all, that 10% were even violent. But they're also padding the numbers by saying that any protest, like, they don't tell you the number of people in a protest that constitutes a protest for their study. So it could be 2 people holding a fucking sign, and they consider that a peaceful protest, right? But this guy just doesn't fucking get it.
You are being so fucking...
study.
No. You are being so fucking dishonest right now. This is absolutely embarrassing.
You're being dishonest.
This
You're
is
the one
embarrassing for
deflecting.
you. They No,
deflecting.
stop. Shut the fuck up. They constitute...
You shut the fuck up, you fucking no chin.
Shut, listen,
pussy.
hey,
Fucking
stop.
Bad haircut. Listen to your
stop.
fucking
Shh,
wife,
shh,
bitch.
Oh,
Fuck you.
I
Don't
know.
tell me to shut the fuck up.
Oh, I know.
I'll fucking take you in a ring. And
I know you're mad.
One
I know.
round.
I know.
Pussy.
I know you're mad. I know. And when the facts
Oh
hurt,
yeah.
I know.
Hate
Listen,
you. I literally wish you were dead.
I know you do, and I don't really care because when the facts hurt your feelings, you melt down into a crying little pussy like what you're doing right now.
Oh, I'm not
now
crying.
listen.
This is pure
this
masculinity,
study.
and you wouldn't recognize it because you're a low T bitch. How about you go to the doctor and get your fucking teeth checked? You can't even grow fucking facial hair, dude.
All right,
You
I'm
can't
not
even
really
grow fucking
trying. All right,
facial
listen.
hair.
Truthfully, I'm not trying to have like a roast war with you here. I'm actually trying to debate this with you for a second.
I'm trying to have a roast
They
war. Yeah, go
they
ahead. Go ahead.
define
Have your
they
fucking debate.
define what the violent demonstrations are, and that included acts targeting people. And then you're saying, well, they didn't say what constitutes a peaceful protest.
Yes, that's
obviously
when you're fucking
obviously
adding up what
hold
a
on,
protest
obviously
is, because you can pad those numbers very easily.
Oh my
you
God.
dumb fucking
Obviously,
retard.
hold on.
Obviously.
Obviously, peaceful protests are the opposite of what they define as the violent demonstrations. Study.
All right, now fast forward to this.
You cannot tell me. I read the study, and guess what? The study's fake as shit because it does not tell you what constitutes
Most
or
studies.
what falls in the definition of a protest. Because again, I could go out in my front fucking
That's
yard
just a
with
lie
a
right
BLM
now.
sign. No, it's not. It does not tell you. It doesn't tell you. In order to be defined as a protest, peaceful or violent, there must be at least this many participants. It must be in this.
Okay, so what?
So
what you're
Yeah, it's a good point.
What you're doing right now?
definition of what a protest is.
Okay, so what you're doing right now is you are
Get it out, you fucking stuttering pussy.
Okay. What you're doing right now is you are pivoting hardcore. Okay,
No,
He's
I'm not
pivoting
anything.
so
I've been
hardcore.
remaining on the same fact for the
He's like so hardcore pivoting.
past 10 minutes. I want you to tell me in that
No, all
study
you're doing- you
what
don't-
constitutes as a protest. Because again, I could go out in my front yard.
I am reading from the article, my dude. I don't know what they.
Yeah, I know.
They
That's your stick. All you do
No.
is read fucking Reddit, and you're like, well, this must
This
be
isn't
a
Reddit.
fact.
Nope, this isn't Reddit. This comes from Time Magazine. Again, this was
I'm not getting my stuff from Reddit. And then once again, let's just reiterate to where he was at just 6 months ago.
If you could set up a gangbang, you know how difficult would that be for you to set that up for me? And she's like, hey, if you could set up a gangbang, it's got to be all black dudes. He wants me to do it outdoors, and it's a bunch of black dudes. And I told him, I'm cool with y'all peeing on me. Y'all just can't pee in my mouth and my eyes. Y'all gonna see the receipts. But she's like, how could I, could you set that up for me? I'll give you a cut.
Fuck. Okay. Leftism. Not even once, boys and girls. Okay, I think we learned a lot tonight. I think we learned that Elon Musk, he's the center of a new alternative media, but it may be a mainstream alternative media. They have their own echo chamber within the greater sphere of things, right? And I do think that it is a force for good in some way. At the very least, it's all we have, and we could work within those confines, I think. Like, Twitter has expanded so that we can put our opinions out there, and we just have to be careful in order to stay on it. And we have to help people who are still getting booted off of it, and we have to advocate for them to get back on Twitter at the very least, right? So, Elon Musk is creating a new paradigm within Twitter, and he is like the center of it. So, I'm for it, but at the same time, I'm skeptical of its limitations, and I want to expand its limitations. I want to expand the Overton window, and I want to do what's best to help Western civilization prosper, obviously. So that's what I have to say about that. And there's all these anti-Semitic fiascos going on. I hope they continue. I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but when it comes to an old woman trying to film anti-Semitic graffiti in a bathroom of a woke coffee shop, all these things are fucking hilarious. Menorahs getting put up with fire extinguishers in parliaments. That's fucking hilarious. Let's keep it up. Let's keep up all these things. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. If you're going to do anything, just go out there and tell the truth. Red pill all your colleagues at the water cooler. Stand by the water cooler. Mog the water cooler. And make sure that every one of your employees knows what's good as far as you can push it without getting fired. And if you get fired, branch out to the next best job or start your own business and, be somebody who can help yourself and who can help others prosper into the future. That's another positive thing that I want to put out there. And yeah. Don't get subverted by all the Norman Lears of TV, right? don't get lost in the past, which used to be so much better and politically incorrect. And Archie Bunker was based. No, it was all leading into this direction from the beginning. The boomers just didn't notice it. And because they didn't notice it, it's what's led us into the situation where we have to clean up this whole mess. So, we are the people that have to clean up the mess. We're the janitors of history. So, I like to put on my janitor cap, and I'll grab my mop and my bucket, and I'm going to start sweeping it up, and I'm going to start trying to clean up this world to make it a little bit better. Are you guys with me on that? Alright, I think that's been a good show tonight. Boomers also didn't have internet, yes, and, you know, I could be a smart ass talking all this shit how about I'm smarter than boomers, but I'm only smarter than them about world affairs because I have the internet and then I cared enough to look into it. So, I'm sure a lot more boomers would have been informed and willing to take things to task if they had that information at the time too. And when they were in their younger years, they were radicalized with that kind of information. But things were going good at the time. And it was just before the Great Replacement and all this stuff, right? But yeah, it's good to see you guys. You all followed me into the second stream, even though the first stream got cucked somehow. I'm going to try to rename the stream so people can understand where to go from the first stream. Thank you all so much for coming out. You guys on YouTube, Rumble, I think Odyssey got cucked. Entropy seems like it's going fine still. Thanks, Nigel, for the super chat. Appreciate it. And I'm going to play you guys out on one last song to go. So, thank you so much. Make sure you smash the like button once again. And we'll get this up into the algorithms. Alright, peace out, everybody. Cheers. Don't be a hunter. Don't be a hunter, Avalon.
be warm on me. Let's get together.